Hello everyone. First of all, thank you to the Apeejay Institute, Tricity IT Entrepreneurs Group, which is of course a very vibrant group, for letting me talk to the students here from Apeejay. And of course, I hope it will be a knowledgeable session for everyone. I would be, basically taking care of the concept from Innovate to Elevate with this session. And what you would say is that all the things in this world starts with ideation. And what we have seen in the past is that, how to find an idea is a very critical thing. We always need to understand, and it's always a challenge to find an idea. So the way we start is like this. Generally, book reading is considered as one of the most important things. So a lot of the times I have seen in my past that people do book reading activities. They learn from a lot of entrepreneurs. They read about a lot of entrepreneurs and see what are the white spaces probably they could work in. Further in, what you also see is there is a lot of web browsing activity that has become very important, and it is another important tool because to elevate, to find a business idea, it is very important that you should find something very interesting to work upon, and all these tools are basically helping us in doing that. A very critical thing that I would like to share is, on the observation part of it. Observation is very important as a tool because if you're not observing the problems that you're facing or feeling in your day-to-day situation or life, you may be missing a lot of problems in the world that you maybe like to solve. I mean, I'll just take a very simple example. For example, when I have to charge my mobile phone, of course, wireless chargers have just come in. What we used to generally do was, if we want to charge our mobile phones and there is no table around, what do? We kind of, try and put the phone on the charger and we hope that it doesn't fall down. But often it vibrates and it falls down. So there is an important problem, that I've encountered today. So as an entrepreneur, as an engineer, or as a person who wants to do business, these are the problems that we should not ignore, and we should definitely try and observe them so that we can find some clever solutions towards them. Further in, what I've also realized in last 12 years of my career is writing. When there exists a problem is very important. It often happens that you're thinking of a problem today, and by the time it is night and you're going to bed, by that morning you get up, the ideas has vanished your mind. Always take notes. I have a WhatsApp group with me as a member where I keep on writing all such stuff and kind of keep that as a journal entry of what I want to do tomorrow if I have a certain problem in mind. Further in, you should socialize outside your normal circle. So, for example, I met Vivek ji and several other people in this group, and I kind of started learning with a lot of these people. And when I start talking to a lot of people outside my comfort zone, is from where I gain a lot of ideas which I would like to work upon. So this is an idea. These are the steps that you could actually follow to start getting, a lot of contenders. It is very important for us to understand that every innovation or every idea before it is ready to go to market has a certain pattern that it goes through. With these two graphs, let's try and understand what happens. So what happens is, let's say after the lockdown, tomorrow I would like to basically enjoy going to say Shimla or some other place. I'm basically planning to go for vacation because I'm fed up. For example, each of us are fed up, in this lockdown. But after, let's say, the lockdown is over and the things are normal, you would like to find out or ideate, let's say, a hill station or a tourist destination that you would like to go. So if you follow this curve, what will happen is if you're having this discussion amongst your friends and family, what you would realize is the ideas that are coming up in the quicker amount of time, let's say in the first 5 minutes of discussion, are very relevant ideas. And the quality of those ideas are good, but it has already been roads that you've traveled before, or it has less relevance because it's too much crowded area, too much tourism has happened at that place. And then you kind of think that we should explore some places new. And then when you're ideating towards new places, you think you're running out of idea as the time is passing by, and all of a sudden something clicks, or some of us gives a suggestion which is more novel. It may not be as relevant as the obvious ones are, but then it's novel enough for somebody, for us to try it on, and by that time good amount of discussion time has passed. Same ways is what happens with the innovation, where you need to kind of keep giving time, keep thinking when you're ideating for successful ideas to come, and you could work on the businesses on that side. There is an important law of diffusion of innovation that happens, because innovation is what we are talking today, and ideation is important to start up or to run a business, or to do good R&D. We need to understand how big companies see it. Now, just do a little retrospecting. So, in the terms of retrospecting, imagine when the e-commerce industry started to happen. These guys used to deliver to our homes, and 10 years back when Flipkart or Amazon started home deliveries, how many of us were actually confident enough that okay, let's buy on Flipkart and Amazon and do the shopping? I mean, not many were. People were very skeptical about the quality. If they pay the money, what would happen? If there is a fake product, what would happen? What if the product gets damaged due to shipping and XYZ reasons? However, what happened was, since the technology grew, we got about first innovators, early adopters of such technologies. This could be, let's say, the first 10 people in a class of 100 who started working because they got some decent deal. They got 20% off their favorite jeans pair, or they got 20% off their favorite mobile phones, and they started, going to a Flipkart or Amazon or several other e-commerce websites. This is where the early adopters start adopting the technology. And what happens were, after some time, seeing those 13 people, a lot of other people started jumping into the market, and they started jumping, and they become the early majority people. And that's how the 50% of the technology by the first 3 4 years was captured by e-commerce industry. Then came the late majority, that people who joined in after that, and then there are always some people who say, retail is better no matter what, and we would still like to retail our inventions. So, having said that, what you would see is there are three important I's when you are looking to elevate your ideas. It starts with idea, innovation, then you protect that idea in the form of IPR. That's where what Signicent does. And then you go and commercialize it either by your own startups or by selling the idea to a bigger company. And that's the sweet spot where a very successful product that can be elevated would be sitting. Next, it is very important how do we use the output of an R&D that we are doing, because that's important for us to consider that we need to see how R&D would become very important. So you would see there are multiple methods how you could publish, or how you could use your R&D. For example, you can publish it in your scientific journals, you can put it on newspapers. There are a lot of YouTube channels people run where you can share such knowledge. People does publish on books, people write blogs about it, they develop their websites, they put it on social media. What you should never do is what unfortunately we Indian students have been doing is putting on a thesis paper or a 30 page, 40 page printout, submitting it to our professors, get our marks, a grade B, grade A, 8 pointer, 9 pointer, and then dump it. I've seen several people who have done good work, but all the files that they've made are actually lying down today in some toilets, and after some time it will be sold to a Radewala for no cost. Imagining that in situation, there are other options. If you want to elevate in your life, you should actually try to monetize the things that you're working upon, or perhaps try patenting it and then monetize your solutions. So it is very important how you choose an idea. There are various ways you could choose an idea and decide which way you should want to go with. This particular matrix, for example, will help you understand on a scale of time to impact what you should do. Anything which is taking more time and has high impact should be good for long term, because it's going to take more time, though it has good impact, but it's not going to give me immediate benefit. So I can keep it on hold, and I'll take it after long term. Something which is low impact and is going to take a high time, you should just forget it, remove it from your bucket list of things you want to do. Things which are less impact and and taking gonna take less time. Though the time is less, but since it's not very important, you can keep it not on priority. Then there's a fourth matrix left that is very important for us to chase, which is high impact idea that could be used in a lesser time and would be done in the lesser time. These are the ideas we should always go for. I personally prepare this metrics for all the things that our company works upon, and we make sure that we always prioritize the tasks based on the impact and the time it is going to take for me to achieve it. So having said that, now let's have a look at the some of the key ingredients of good research that you may be doing in your colleges. So it should of course be a viable idea. The idea has to be new enough. There should be some competition at least, because some people think there's a competition. There is a validation that is there to the market already. The market readiness has to be checked. You need to be very sure you've done sufficient prototyping experimentation before you take it, and then you kind of diffuse and slowly implement your ideas into the market after having a well-defined problem statement. Next, there are several engines. I would not go into lot details on it, but you should definitely validate ideas on free search engines that we have today. Very important for people to use. Some of this when I was in IIT, I was basically told about such engines, but now we have a lot more commercial engines that we are using for our work. But then these are the basic engines that you should use for validating your ideas. Next, it is important. So if you understand, if you see this problem solution analysis, and if you pay a little more attention on this, so you would see that this kind of this kind of things would help you understand. These kind of things would help you understand and do a lot of problem solution analysis. For example, you could find in say if you're trying to solve 7 different problems and we have 5 to 6 different solutions available that you have figured out based on your Google searches or based on book reading and what. So you could always do a matrix analysis where you can, the area or the circle size would be proportional to the number of documents known or the solutions known for solving a problem. And what you would realize is that you would start seeing some white spaces. These are the areas where you should work in. It will be worth your money. It will be worth your investment. It will be worth college investment to invest your money and time into the area where there is less competition as compared to where there's too much crowded space already and you're having a lot of competition to even earn a single dollar from your money. Next is IPR. So what we are going to also talk about is, so once you've done the innovation, then you need to protect the innovation or else others can copy it. So it is very important that you should, protect the innovation that you do. And what we are going to talk about here is little on the IPR umbrella. So I'll just give a very quick introduction here. Patent is something which is there for technology. So every jugaad that I do, for every solution that I found for a problem, are basically patentable thing. Trademarks are something which are given for logos. For example, Tricity IT Entrepreneur or Apeejay or Signicent are basically the logos that we have. All are should be protected via trademarks so that others cannot copy it. The copyright is given for content. So if there are some poets, if there are some writings, there are software codes, some paintings, some drama, some composition of music, all these fall under the copyright regime, and you need to copyright so that others cannot copy. And then you have basically designs. So there are a lot of things which goes via industrial design where you need to kind of check if there are some industrial designs that you should be protecting, and then there would be geographical indications. And then let's do a very quick exercise. And of course, if you can do it at your end. And I have some, for example, if you recall, we have patent, trademark, copyrights, geographical indication, industrial design. I'll take a second pause before I show you the answer. So let's start guessing, for example, what kind of IPR would this fall under? And some of you could, of course, put it on chat windows of Microsoft Teams. I can start seeing my chat window. So if you are interested, we can see the chat window. So what kind of this logo would fall under? And so if you see the first thing, for example, this would fall under trademark because this is the kind of logo that we are talking about. Let's look at the second thing. So this is the novel written by somebody. So what kind of IPR will this fall under? This is to help you understand if you are making something, if you are trying to do something in your space, which kind of IPR regime you should fit under to make sure that nobody copies it. So this novel would actually go under copyrights. If you talk about the secret formula of Coca-Cola, this would fall under trade secrets. If you're talking about, say, a device, this is a small device over here that you could see, which could use to sharpen the mustache over here. This will fall under patents because it's a solution towards a particular problem that we are solving. Likewise, if we talk about paintings, this would go under copyrights. If we have designs available, this would once again go towards patent. If we have logos, this would go under trademarks. Going a little further, this is a basket design which has certain holes in it. This could go under design patents. The logo of companies like Tesla would go under trademark. The chappals, the things that are popular with the city's name that they belong to. For example, this is Kolhapuri chappal. So you see the name of the city in front of the product. It could be likewise silk from Varanasi or coffee from Assam or sarson ka saag from Amritsar, for example. So all these are basically contenders for a geographical indication because they protect the areas that it falls under. And of course, then there are utility patent which talks about the technology for the bigger products that are there. So then, why after innovating is it is important to safeguard your IP? Because one, you want to sell it. If you do not want to sell it yourself, you would like to earn the royalty. By the royalty term, I would mean that, for example, if you do not have the capacity to make it yourself, you ask others to make it, and every say unit they make, they pay you a 5%, 10%, 20% royalty, and that would be decided in the arrangement between you, and you can still earn money that you are doing it. Of course, it helps in recognition. It's a proud for anybody when they see their IP being protected and they become the owner in the entire nation and nobody else could copy it. It's a matter of recognition. A lot of appraisals these days in big companies have actually been related to the innovation and the IP those R&D people or those companies file. It helps in commercialization, technology development, and of course, you could of course license it if you do not want to make it yourself. So this is the current scenario of India right now in the terms of innovation. So you would see we do not have much. And if you see the difference between the red bar and the orange bar, you would see there are a lot of non-residents or non-Indian people filing the patents in India as compared to we filing it, which is totally different in China, where a lot of residents are filing patents, and likewise in US being third and Japan being third, and the Republic of Korea being fourth. So this is how the entire patent offices are split across, and it is an index of innovation. So it's very important that we should understand it. This is a typical looking Indian patent, which would help you understand that if I want to file a patent, how does it look like? And it is important that we should understand the innovation area and conduct relevant searches and look for it. Lastly, before we sum up, it's important that we should look for commercialization angle. For example, when I was in this exercise of brand making, and there is no slide further, so I'll just talk about it on this particular slide. So when we were into brand making, we are always people working in that area who would like to develop something good in the market, and we want to establish our name. So it is important for us that we should industrialize, we should start up, we should take care of the the funds that we are getting from. We should invest. Colleges are helping in investments and all. To become a brand, it's a journey where you need to take, you need to patiently follow it. So from ideation to innovation to becoming an elevated or a branded company, there is a huge life cycle each of us has to go through, which is organic, and it cannot be bought in the form of money. You need to kind of keep investing that time. So it's my probably a request to everybody who is kind of listening to this session that to become a brand or to become an a company that should be into that space, we should always look for methods and look for innovation towards it rather than just start copying somebody and start learning towards it. And then towards the end, I probably wish everybody good luck, and I thanks all the organizers, especially from APJ, Tri-City IT Entrepreneurs Group. If we have any questions, you can of course put it on chat, and I'll be happy to take them. Or probably that's it, and have a very pleasant evening ahead.
Thanks, Haritji, for your time. And we hope to have more sessions with you in APJ College. And obviously, you have scheduled with us many more future events. But yeah, with APJ also, we will have more events in future. So, Avneepji, please say something.
Thank you so much, Harit sir,